Imagine waking up and scrolling through Instagram and bam, you see your husband reposting your Vogue cover, but that's not what grabs you. It's the awkward confession he piled into his caption that stops you cold. He admits that once, during a huge fight, he told you you'd never earn a Vogue cover. And he ended it with, "sadly mistaken." Sounds like an apology, maybe, but the way he framed it, it cut deeper than he probably realized. So here's how it all went down. On May 20th, Justin shared Hailey's solo Vogue cover, her first ever, and dropped this bomb in the caption. "Yo, this reminds me when Hailey and I got into a huge fight. I told Hales that she would never be on the cover of Vogue. Yikes, I know, so mean. So baby, forgive me for saying you wouldn't get a Vogue cover cause clearly I was sadly mistaken." And then just hours later, after things started heating up online, he deleted all that and replaced it with a string of emojis. Shrugging, pointing, heart hands, and a teary, smiling face. That change didn't exactly smooth things over. People erupted. The tone felt off. Like he used this celebration of her to remind her he once doubted her. It wasn't just a hot take moment. It felt like a bruising power move disguised as reflection. And folks didn't hold back. Some wrote things like, "He's a chronic emotional abuser," or "Why on earth would you publicly rehash that?" Others pointed out something eerily worded, "sadly mistaken." Why sad? Why apologize with sorrow about being wrong? Reddit blew up with reactions that spilled in real time. One user typed verbatim, "He wanted to humble her. She proved him wrong. It hurt his fragile ego. He took this as an opportunity to have the final word and taint this for her." Another called it some sinister shit. It was like a live roasting session. Fans weren't just disappointed, they were actively hurt by the tone, but the story didn't end at backlash. Justin circled back and tried to smooth things, publicly overcoming that moment with a heartfelt apology. He admitted telling her she'd never be on Vogue was so mean and confessed it came from feeling so disrespected and wanting to get even. Then he reflected, "As we mature, we realize we're not helping anything by getting even, just prolonging what we really want, intimacy and connection." He wrapped it with, "Clearly, I was sadly mistaken." Some say that moment, cold, clunky, slightly brutal, snapped the spotlight back on their power balance. Hailey's been on a rising trajectory. Her skincare brand Rhode has taken off. She's landed Vogue covers around the globe, and she's stepping out to events solo. Meanwhile, Justin's buzz hasn't been as steady, so his post, intended as a public mea culpa, came across as him clawing for control or relevance. But here's the jaw-dropper twist. Hailey didn't tear him apart. In her Vogue feature, she spoke about postpartum life, the intense trolling, and how Justin told her early on, "Trust me, baby, you're not going to win. There is no winning." She leaned into grace and sobriety. Despite the whispers and clicks, she stayed calm, focused. Talk of chaos was everywhere. Some insiders claim tensions are high. Justin acting erratic. Hailey distancing herself. Explosive arguments. Page 6 and The Sun went full-on inferno, saying she's stepping out alone to events like Fashion Week and the Met Gala. He's unraveling publicly, and maybe this marriage is wobbling. And yet, they keep circulating together. She posted at his surprise appearance at a stadium show. They still act like a unit sometimes, but every misstep he makes online keeps fueling speculation. Fans are left seeing repeating scenes. He makes a tone-deaf post, there's fallout, he tries to rebuild, and in the middle of it, Hailey keeps glowing. So where does that leave us? You've got a moment meant to be sweet. A proud wife on the cover of Vogue, twisted by a resurfaced insult and a clumsy apology. The public itched. This wasn't romantic, it was unsettling. And Hailey, a mum, a rising mogul, took it in stride. Meanwhile, Justin, walking tightrope, stumbles again. It's a messy, juicy peek at what happens when social media turns marriage into primetime drama. After the initial storm, people began dissecting the ripple effects. What stood out wasn't just the words, but the fact that Justin chose to share that old fight at the exact moment Hailey was getting one of the biggest professional wins of her life. It made the moment less about her achievement and more about his past judgment. And that, to a lot of observers, said everything about where their relationship might be. Behind closed doors, insiders claimed Hailey's patience has been running thin for months. She's been carrying herself like someone determined to secure her own space, whether that's through Rhode's expansion, her solo press runs, or curated appearances without Justin by her side. And while she's always been careful not to directly shade him, the optics speak loudly. Photos from major events show her glowing on the carpet alone, smiling for cameras without looking over her shoulder. That contrast is sharp compared to earlier years when she played the supportive partner at his every public moment. Some sources suggested that Justin's recent behavior isn't just awkward captions and deleted posts. They painted a picture of a man restless, unpredictable, sometimes isolating himself and sometimes needing constant reassurance. People close to them allegedly describe mood swings that leave Hailey unsure what version of him she's going to. get. That instability, they say, is why she's been building a brand that stands entirely apart from their marriage. So her success doesn't live or die with his public image. The fans watching all this have turned into amateur detectives. Threads pop up speculating on hidden meanings in her Instagram captions, her choice of outfits, even her seating positions at public events. Some are convinced the Vogue caption drama was a symptom of a bigger shift. The power dynamic is tilting, and Justin's struggling to handle it. Hailey, once in his shadow, is now a cultural figure in her own right, something that can be empowering for a couple or threatening, depending on the egos involved. And while the Vogue backlash has cooled, it hasn't disappeared. Every time Justin makes a public appearance now, there's a flood of comments asking if he's okay, if he's happy for her, or if he's going to say something weird again. It's become a running narrative that overshadows his actual work. Even when he performs, clips of the Vogue caption are brought up in the comment sections, keeping the moment alive long after the post was edited. Industry watchers think this moment could push Hailey's brand even higher. In PR terms, she comes out looking like the composed, focused partner, the one who doesn't let drama pull her off course. The fact that she hasn't engaged with the controversy directly gives her an advantage. She lets the public form their own conclusions, and in many cases, that leads them to side with her. Brands love that kind of resilience, which means more collaborations, bigger campaigns, and potentially global expansion for Road for Justin. The path forward is trickier. His reputation has been dented before, but this one feels personal in a way that sticks. People aren't just questioning his artistry or business decisions. They're questioning his character, and that can be harder to repair. The options? He could lean into humility, make amends in a visible, consistent way, and redirect focus to new music or philanthropy. Or he could ignore it and hope the internet moves on. But ignoring it might leave that insecure husband image lingering, especially if more awkward moments happen. Those closest to them reportedly worry that if these missteps keep stacking up, it won't just be an online perception issue. It could wear down the relationship itself. The strain of constant public interpretation, paired with private disagreements, can turn even small conflicts into breaking points. And while no one's predicting a split tomorrow, whispers about separate living arrangements during tours and trips have been making their rounds. For now, they're still presenting as a couple, but the next few months will be telling. If Justin can celebrate her wins without dragging in old wounds, if Hailey can continue to balance her brand growth with the demands of their marriage, they might quiet the noise. If not, the narrative will keep writing itself in real time, with every post, every appearance, and every side-eye moment becoming part of the ongoing saga. The Vogue caption could have been a throwaway story. Instead, it's turned into a lens people are using to watch their entire relationship. And once the internet sees cracks, it doesn't stop looking for more. Subscribe for more.